Pretty interesting article here from the AP. I'll link it down below. Mexican president mounts campaign against social media censorship, and that is Mexican President uh, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, also known as AMLO. Mexico's president vowed Thursday to lead an international effort to combat what he considers censorship by social media companies that have blocked or suspended the accounts of U.S. President Donald Trump. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador's admin is reaching out to other governments to form a common front on the issue. I can tell you at the first G20 meeting we have, I'm going to make a proposal on the issue, Lopez Obrador said. Yes, social media should not be used to incite violence and all that, but this cannot be used as a pretext to suspend freedom of expression. Couldn't agree more, AMLO. How can a company act as if it's all powerful, if it was all powerful, omnipotent, as a sort of Spanish Inquisition on what is expressed, he asked. Foreign Relations Secretary Marcelo Ebrard said Mexico is starting to build an international campaign around the issue. Given that Mexico, through our president, has spoken out, we immediately made contact with others who think the same, Ebrard said, noting they heard from officials in France, Germany, the EU, Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. The president's orders are to make contact with all of them, share this concern, and work on coming up with a joint proposal, Ebrard said. We'll see what is proposed. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Angela? No, it's Angela, right? I don't know why I said Angela. Is among those who have publicly criticized the action against Trump. Her spokesman said Monday the German leader found it problematic that corporate managers could deny someone access under rules not defined by law. Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name, later called for new regulations that would govern the use of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in the EU. Without mentioning Trump's case, he said that the owners of corporate giants should not decide which views are right and wrong. Yes, completely, and that's exactly what these big social media companies, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they even banned him from like selling his merchandise, all these things that literally had nothing to do with inciting violence, which frankly I don't think his tweets could really be justified as inciting violence, in my opinion. And again, it sets a very bad precedent if these, Silicon Valley companies, these big tech companies, are able to suppress the voice of the president of the U.S. They are able to do that to anybody, and it's already in the past been used against people on the left, outlets, people in Venezuela, China, people who stand up for the support, of the Palestinian struggle. So again, it's not, if you're on the left, this is not something that you should be cheering on at all, in my opinion. Lopez Obrador has not said whether he's thinking of trying to regulate social media platforms or perhaps switching to a new outlet. On Tuesday, he posted an invitation on Facebook, the platform he most frequently uses, for his followers to switch to Telegram. Jesus Ramirez, the president's spokesman, said the Telegram account has been open for a while, suggesting the switch was not related to Trump, not related to Twitter, Facebook, and other media platforms acting against Trump after a mob of his supporters broke into the U.S. Capitol on January 6, accusing him of inciting the violence. Lopez Obrador says private companies should not have the right to decide who can speak. Yes, I don't see why that is so hard to understand and why so many people on the so-called left, so-called progressives, are okay with that. People like AOC here in the U.S. Basically applauding this move and calling for more censorship. Jesus Christ. But the issue only displays his closeness to Trump and his off-again, on-again love of social media. Ramirez Cuevas said Lopez Obrador manages his own social media accounts, as not being ironic when he uses his favorite phrase, the blessed social media. When he talks about the blessed social media, he's referring to the citizens who use it freely to express opinions freely and get info, Ramirez Cuevas said. The mass use of social media has allowed his message to get through when before is blocked by traditional news media. Like Trump, Lopez Obrador thinks traditional media outlets are biased against him. And like Trump, the Mexican president has used the term fake news, or the Spanish variant of it. The two men had such a close relationship that Trump, is one of his only public appearances since January 6th, heaped extensive praise on Lopez Obrador, calling him a great gentleman, a friend of mine. Pretty interesting. Especially considering that, Lopez Obrador, at least from everything I've heard about him, is pretty far to the left, at least compared to Trump. He's, said that he would be willing to offer asylum to Julian Assange. I believe he also wanted to decriminalize or legalize marijuana, maybe even other drugs in Mexico. I want to thank him for his friendship and his professional working relationship, Trump said. He is a man who really knows what's happening. He loves his country. He also loves the U.S. The relationship was based not on ideological affinity, but on the help Mexico provided under U.S. pressure, which, I don't necessarily agree with this part of AMLO's administration, to stop Central American migrants from reaching the U.S. border. Trump bragged that we actually had 27,000 Mexican soldiers guarding our borders over the last 2 years. Lopez Obrador seldom tweets, but he has a regular home folksy presence on Facebook, where he often posts videos of himself playing baseball, giving fireside chats to the nation, or showing off landscapes, traditional Mexican foods, or landscapes he is proud of. During his morning news conference, unlike any other Mexican president before him, he holds them almost every weekday. Lopez Obrador makes many, if not most, of his questions from online or social media news. That's pretty cool. But Lopez Obrador has also complained bitterly about bots and trolls on social media, and has sponsored studies of which so-called robot accounts are purportedly used to attack him. So, obviously, Lopez Obrador is not perfect, and helping out, the Trump admin, not letting, migrants from Central America into the U.S. I don't support that, but he's completely on point here, criticizing, these huge, massive social media platforms for, and big tech in general, censoring free speech. And it'll be interesting to see what comes up at that G20 meeting, which he said he'll introduce something about it. And good to hear that other leaders from around the world, whether it's Germany, France, different places in the EU, all over the globe, are also, very concerned about this, as we all should be, frankly. Those are my thoughts. Leave yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. All part of the people. Peace. Much love.